Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're stepping into the past, right into the heart of American history, with one of the most iconic and talked about coins ever minted by the United States. It's the legendary 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington quarter, a coin that not only commemorates 2 centuries of American independence, but also hides some truly incredible secrets. Especially if you're lucky enough to spot the right one. Now, millions of people have seen this coin. Maybe you've even spent 1 or 2 yourself without giving it a second thought. But what if I told you that a special version of this coin, one that looks almost like the rest, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money? Yes, we're talking about the kind of value that could pay off a car, a house deposit, or even change your life. So don't blink and don't skip ahead, because today we're uncovering the hidden value, the rare errors, and the collector's secrets of the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter. You might just discover a treasure sitting in your coin jar. Let's begin with a little background. In 1976, to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States of America, the U.S. Mint released a special commemorative quarter. Unlike regular quarters, this one features a dual date, 1776 to 1976, to mark the nation's bicentennial. And instead of the standard eagle on the reverse, the coin features a bold and symbolic image. A colonial drummer standing proudly with a torch encircled by 13 stars, representing the original colonies. It's patriotic, powerful, and packed with meaning. Now here's the twist. These quarters were produced in absolutely massive quantities. So yes, most of them are still only worth 25 cents. But a small percentage of them were struck under unique and rare circumstances. And those are the coins collectors are willing to pay huge money for. What exactly makes some bicentennial quarters worth thousands, while others are just pocket change? Let's break it down. First up, minting errors. The U.S. Mint is known for its high standards, but even the most precise machinery isn't immune to the occasional mistake. And when that happens, the result can be a one-of-a-kind error coin worth serious money. Collectors are on the lookout for several types of errors in the bicentennial quarter series. Double die errors, where parts of the design, especially the lettering or drummer's image, appears slightly doubled. These are rare and can be spotted with a close look under magnification. Off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably misaligned, sometimes leaving parts of the coin blank. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes. Clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin's edge is missing due to a miscut during the blanking process. And the holy grail, wrong planchet errors, where the bicentennial design was accidentally struck onto a blank mint for a different denomination. Imagine seeing a quarter design struck on a nickel or dime-sized planchet. It's bizarre, it's beautiful, and it's incredibly valuable, but errors aren't the only thing to watch for. Condition is king. Many of these coins have been in circulation for nearly 50 years. They've been spent, dropped, scratched, and worn down. So when a bicentennial quarter surfaces in mint state, or even better, in proof condition, collectors take notice. Coins graded MS 65, MS 66, or MS 67 and above can be extremely valuable, especially when they have full luster, sharp detail, and no signs of wear. And if that same coin also has an error, that's when the value skyrockets. Let's not forget about special metal compositions. While most bicentennial quarters were made from a copper-nickel blend, a small number were struck in 40% silver for collector sets. If you find one of these silver coins, especially in pristine condition, it could be worth far more than face value. Now here's where things get really interesting. Some rare bicentennial quarters have surfaced that combine mint errors, high grades, and silver composition. These are the unicorns of the coin world. The kinds of coins that dealers talk about at trade shows. The coins that collectors dream of finding. Imagine this. You're flipping through some old coins from a family collection. You spot the familiar dual date, 1776 to 1976. But something looks different. The coin's shine catches your eye. Maybe the design looks off-center. You grab a magnifier, start inspecting closely, and realize you might just be holding something incredibly rare. You send it off for grading. You wait, and when the results come back, your jaw drops. Because that coin you almost didn't look twice at, it's real, it's rare, and it's valuable. Oh, what's it worth? Well, one especially rare bicentennial Washington quarter, featuring a major mint error and graded in near-perfect uncirculated condition, has been valued at an astonishing $82,000. That's right, $82,000. For a quarter. The next time you come across one of these 1776 to 1976 quarters, don't dismiss it. Flip it over. Check the strike. Examine the edges. Look for doubling. Weigh it if you can. You might just be looking at a hidden gem, one that could turn your spare change into something unforgettable. Top 2, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2022 Maya Angelou Washington quarter. And trust me, if you think modern coins can't be valuable, this one might just change your mind. This is not just a quarter. It's a celebration of culture, literature, resilience, and American history. And in rare cases, it can also be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money. Let's break it all down. Because whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just curious about the change in your pocket, what you're about to hear will make you want to check your coins very carefully. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter was part of the groundbreaking American Women Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint. This program honors influential women who made significant contributions to American history, and Maya Angelou was the very first woman featured. And what a powerful choice she was. Maya Angelou was a world-renowned author, poet, and civil rights activist. Her voice gave strength to millions, and her words broke barriers. The design on the reverse of the coin reflects that spirit perfectly. It features Maya Angelou with her arms uplifted, a bird in flight behind her, and rays of sunshine surrounding the scene, symbolizing freedom, creativity, and the power of expression. On the obverse, for the first time since 1932, we see a new portrait of George Washington, one that was originally sculpted by Laura Garden Fraser in 1931, finally brought to life on this special release. This isn't just currency, it's art, it's history, and in rare cases, it's extremely valuable. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about rarity and errors. Most Maya Angelou quarters are common, minted by the millions and used in everyday transactions. But among them, a few select coins were struck with unique errors, making them highly sought-after collectibles in the numismatic world. Here are the key things to look for. First up, die errors. Some 2022 quarters have been found with double die features. That means the design appears slightly doubled, often in areas like the text, Maya Angelou's hands, or even the rays of the sun. This type of error results from a misalignment during the striking process and can dramatically increase a coin's value. Next, striking errors. These include off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted to one side. There are also coins with cut errors, where extra metal appears on the surface due to die breakage. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and collectors absolutely love unique. And then, there's one of the rarest and most exciting errors of all, coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a Maya Angelou quarter that was accidentally minted on a dime or even a foreign coin blank. These mismatched metals and sizes create extreme rarity, and when authenticated, can demand staggering prices. But that's not all. Condition plays a huge role. A Maya Angelou quarter that has never been in circulation, that's been preserved in perfect condition, can receive a high mint state grade, such as MS 67, MS 68, or even MS 69, from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These coins shine like mirrors, show no signs of wear, and have razor-sharp detail. Add an error on top of that level of preservation. Now you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a piece of modern American history that collectors are willing to pay thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, for. You see, many people think rare coins only come from the 1800s or early 1900s, but that's not true. Modern coins like the Maya Angelou quarter are proof that treasure is still being made today. And you might already have it sitting in your pocket, your wallet, or a dusty coin jar at home. How do you know if yours is valuable? Start by checking the mint mark. These quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from San Francisco, especially proof versions, tend to be more collectible. Then, look for any visible errors. Examine the lettering. Look at the edges. Feel for thickness. And most importantly, if you think you found something unusual, get it graded. Because now, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. One extremely rare version of the 2022 Maya Angelou Washington quarter, featuring a striking mint error and preserved in pristine condition, was recently valued at $80,000. That's right, $80,000. For a modern quarter that you could easily overlook in everyday change to SO, don't underestimate the power of a small coin. Don't ignore the beauty, history, and potential hiding in plain sight. And never stop checking your change, because sometimes the most valuable treasures are right there in your hands. Top 3, we're uncovering a quarter that doesn't just carry a monetary value, it carries a legacy. This is a coin that honors leadership, strength, and the fight for justice. But more than that, some versions of this coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. If you know what to look for, get ready, because we're talking about the 2022 Wilma Mankiller quarter, a modern U.S. coin that's caught the attention of collectors around the world. And yes, there's a version of this quarter that has been valued at a stunning $79,000. But more on that later. Let's begin with the woman behind the coin. Wilma Mankiller wasn't just a historical figure. She was a trailblazer. The first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, she broke barriers and redefined leadership in Native communities. Her work in social justice, community development, and advocacy made her one of the most respected and influential Indigenous leaders in American history. So, when the U.S. Mint chose to feature her on a quarter in 2022 as part of the American Women Quarters program, it was more than just recognition. It was history in your hand. Now, let's take a look at this remarkable coin. On the reverse side, you'll see Wilma Mankiller standing with strength and pride, looking into the horizon, symbolizing vision and leadership. She stands in front of the Cherokee syllabary, honoring her heritage, while the seven-pointed star, symbolic in Cherokee culture, adds a powerful visual detail. On the obverse, you'll notice a striking left-facing portrait of George Washington, based on a 1931 design by Laura Garden Fraser. This portrait debuted with this new series and immediately caught the attention of collectors for its elegance and historical relevance. But let's get to the real excitement. What makes this quarter worth more than just 25 cents? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and minting errors. While millions of Wilma Mankiller quarters were minted for everyday circulation, only a very small number contain rare minting errors or unusual features. And those are the coins that drive collectors. Let's talk about the most valuable types of errors you should look for: double die errors. In these coins, part of the design appears to be doubled. It might show up in the text, the details in Wilma's clothing, or in the Cherokee syllabary. These errors happen during the striking process and are extremely desirable. Off-center strikes. Coins that were struck when the blank wasn't properly aligned in the press. The result? A design that's shifted, sometimes with a portion of the image missing. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date, the more valuable it becomes. Die cracks and die chips. These happen when the die used to stamp the coin becomes worn or damaged, leaving raised lines or blobs on the coin. While minor chips are common, large or unusual ones can make the coin unique. Wrong planchet errors. These are some of the rarest and most exciting finds. This happens when a quarter design is accidentally struck on a coin blank meant for another denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. The difference in size, weight, and color makes these errors incredibly valuable, especially when authenticated. And let's not forget the importance of condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. And if your Wilma Mankiller quarter has been kept in pristine, untouched condition since the moment it left the mint, you could be looking at a grade of MS 67, MS 68, or higher. That means no scratches, perfect shine, flawless edges, and razor-sharp detail. Add a rare mint error to that level of condition. Now you're not just holding a quarter, you're holding a collector's dream. And here's something important for all collectors to know. These rare errors are not always easy to spot. You might need a magnifying glass or even a microscope to catch some of the fine details. That's what makes the search so thrilling. Every coin is a mystery. Every quarter could be the one. Now, imagine this. You're sifting through some loose change, Or maybe you're going through a coin roll you picked up from the bank. You find a 2022 Wilma Mankiller quarter. It looks different. Maybe the design is slightly off-center. Maybe the text looks doubled. You take a closer look, and your heart skips a beat. You might have just found a rare error. You send it in for professional grading, you wait for the results, and then boom. You find out your modern quarter is worth more than a car, more than a year's salary, possibly more than you ever imagined, so here it is. The moment you've been waiting for, a rare version of the 2022 Wilma Mankiller Washington quarter, featuring a unique minting error and preserved in mint state condition, has been valued at $79,000. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000, for a coin that many people overlook every single day. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about discovery. It's about history. It's about finding beauty and value in the smallest details. Don't stop searching. Check your pocket change. Examine your coin rolls. Look closely at the coins that everyone else ignores, because hidden treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it jingles in your hand. We're talking about the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin you might think is ordinary, but one that could be hiding extraordinary secrets. Let's dive in, because what you're about to learn may just send you running to your coin jar with a flashlight and a magnifying glass. Now, let's rewind time for a moment. Back to 1965, this was a pivotal year in American coinage. Before that year, quarters were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a major shift. Due to rising silver prices and the growing cost of production, the Mint removed silver from quarters and switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. This change was massive. It meant that 1965 quarters were the first of their kind, the beginning of the modern quarter era. But here's where things get exciting. During that transition, mistakes were made. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes equal money. You see, some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on the older silver planchets meant for 1964 quarters. That's right. Despite the official transition, a few 1965 dated quarters were struck on silver blanks. These are known as transitional errors, and they are extremely rare, and they are worth serious money. What makes these silver 1965 quarters different from the common copper-nickel ones? First, listen closely. The sound test. Silver quarters make a distinctive high-pitched ring when dropped, unlike the duller clink of the copper-nickel versions. Second, look at the edge. A standard clad quarter shows a copper-colored stripe along the edge, but a silver quarter has a pure, solid silver edge, no copper in sight. Next, the weight. A regular 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver planchet quarter weighs around 6.25 grams. It's a small difference, but collectors know that tiny details make a huge difference. Now, the silver planchet error is the holy grail of 1965 quarters. But that's not the only rare variety out there. Let's talk about other valuable errors that have been discovered. Double die obverse, where elements on the front of the coin, like the date or the word liberty, appear doubled. This kind of doubling is visible under magnification and can skyrocket a coin's value. Off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned, sometimes showing a blank crescent along one edge. The more off-center, the rarer and more valuable it becomes, especially if the full date is still visible. Struck on wrong planchet. An error where the quarter design is struck on a blank mint for another coin entirely, like a dime or even a foreign denomination. These errors are bizarre, beautiful, and extremely valuable to collectors. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed during minting. These can range from small bites to dramatic cuts. But here's something else that matters just as much as the error. Condition. Most 1965 quarters have been in circulation for decades. They're scratched, worn, and dull. But if you find one that's in near-perfect shape, especially a silver error coin, and it gets a high mint state grade, like MS 65 or higher from a professional grading service, you might just have something extraordinary. Because when rarity meets condition, the value explodes. Now, picture this. You're looking through a pile of old change from your childhood piggy bank. You spot a 1965 quarter. It feels heavier than usual. The edge is pure silver. You take it to a coin dealer or send it for professional grading. And then, the news hits that it's real, that it's silver, that's in incredible condition. And suddenly, Your average-looking coin has become a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So now, the big question. Just how much could one of these rare 1965 Washington quarters be worth? Well, here it is. The moment you've been waiting for, a rare 1965 Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet, featuring a mint error and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, has been valued at an astonishing $78,000. Yes, $78,000. For a single quarter, it's proof that treasure still exists, even in the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that history lives in our pockets. And it's why collectors across the world are still hunting, flipping, and inspecting every coin they find. What are you waiting for? Go check your quarters. Look for that 1965 date. Feel the weight, check the edge, and listen closely. Because the next big discovery could be sitting right in your hands, and it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 5. We're about to talk about a coin that might seem completely ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you that a 1973 Washington quarter, yes, the one that many people have sitting in their drawer or change jar, could be worth a small fortune? Most people would never think twice about it. They'd spend it, drop it in a parking meter, or toss it into a jar at the end of the day. But today's video is your chance to learn the real story behind the 1973 Washington quarter and why collectors are keeping their eyes wide open for a very specific version of this coin. So, if you're someone who enjoys coin collecting, history, or just the thrill of the hunt, grab a magnifying glass, because this video might just change the way you look at every quarter you own. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. By 1973, it had already been in circulation for over 4 decades. That year, quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the twist. The 1973 quarters weren't released with any special designs, no commemorative features, and no flashy silver content. Just your basic copper-nickel-clad coin. And yet, despite how normal this coin seems, there are versions of the 1973 quarter that are extremely rare and shockingly valuable. The difference? It all comes down to errors, variety, and condition. Let's break it down. First, minting errors. The U.S. Mint is known for its precision, but even with strict standards, things can slip through the cracks. And when they do, collectors take notice. One of the most valuable types of error is the double die. This happens when the coin is struck more than once slightly out of alignment, causing parts of the design, like the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust, to appear doubled. These errors are subtle, but when spotted under magnification, they make the coin significantly more valuable. Another key error to look out for is an off-center strike. If the quarter's image doesn't appear perfectly centered, it can be worth big bucks, especially if the misalignment is dramatic and the date is still fully visible. Then there are the wrong planchet errors. This is where things get really exciting. You see, sometimes a quarter design is mistakenly stamped onto a planchet meant for another coin, like a nickel, dime, or even a foreign coin blank. This results in a totally odd-looking quarter that weighs less, may look slightly smaller, and definitely stands out. These error coins are very rare and are absolute gold mines for collectors. One more to mention: clipped planchets. These are coins that have a piece missing from the edge, kind of like someone took a bite out of it. These too can add significant value when authenticated. Now, let's talk about proofs and grading. In 1973, the San Francisco Mint produced special proof coins, mirror-like, high-detail versions meant for collectors. These weren't intended for general circulation. If a proof quarter somehow made it into the wild and stayed in pristine condition, or better yet, has an error on it, that's a jackpot. And beyond errors and variety, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. If your 1973 quarter has sharp details, no scratches, and original luster, it might earn a grade like MS 65 or higher, mint state. Combine that grade with a rare mint error, and you're holding a coin that's no longer just currency. It's a collectible, and potentially a very expensive one. Now picture this. You're sorting through an old collection. Maybe it belonged to your grandparents. You find a 1973 quarter. It looks shiny, almost untouched. But something's different. The date looks odd. You weigh it. It's lighter than usual. You take it to a coin expert, and they confirm it. You've got something truly special. You send it in for professional grading. Weeks later, it comes back authenticated, rare, and nearly flawless. And the value? Well, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. A rare 1973 Washington quarter, struck with a mint error, preserved in stunning uncirculated condition, and professionally graded at a high level, has been valued at $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, at $75,000, for a coin that most people would never even think twice about. This is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's not just about old money. It's about hidden gems, historical mysteries, and the thrill of discovery. Whether you're a serious collector or just someone curious about what's hiding in your change jar, remember, every coin tells a story. And some of them tell stories worth thousands. What are you waiting for? Check your coins. Examine your 1973 quarters. Look for doubling, missing edges, strange weights, off-center designs, or that telltale silver shine. Because you never know, the next incredible discovery might be sitting in your hand right now. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another coin treasure reveal. We're just getting started, and there are so many more stories hidden in your pocket change. Until next time, happy collecting, stay curious, and always check your quarters.